Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I thought I would show off a mech I recently built in Space Engineers. As you can see from the antenna signal, it's called the Saber BattleMech, or Saber class if you want to be more formal. It's it's like a light or medium sized like bipedal like walker thing. It's my first like successful like attempt at building like a fully functional like battle mech that can like walk without falling over. Well, it can walk relatively stable without falling over. Although this does fall over sometimes with like shifting terrain and the like. Yeah. So I would like to get to the features of this mech and like show it off ASAP. But before I do that, I want to like I just thought I'd like go over these real quick. I'm just gonna paste this over here actually. No, don't fall over. Okay, well, whatever. Fall over. Fine. Be that way. Yeah, so this is like a bunch of stuff that ended up being here as I was like working on the mech. As you can see, this is all like stuff from like, these are all like earlier versions and parts of those. This one is the earliest one that currently exists on this world. As you can see, like this was before I changed the legs later on, moved them closer to like the center of mass, basically. And yeah, it turns out that basically played a huge role in giving the mech like stability, like a stable walk cycle. Because apparently this is actually not optimal spacing. Apparently optimal spacing is close to like the legs should be roughly the width of like the main body, excluding the turrets on the side because that's like extra mass or whatever. So yeah, on a mech like this, optimal space is probably like exactly the middle between between the main body and the turret. Anyways, so that's that. These are just earlier versions. This landing gear thing is here because because since I was using like pistons and rotors, which for anyone who's played Space Engineers should know that, who's fairly experienced should know that like those can like cause physics anomalies and sometimes like destroy, sometimes they'll explode and stuff. So I did that because to lock it in place while I was working on it. And one of the things I think happens with pistons and rotors is if they're asymmetrical. So basically, if you have more pistons and rotor, if you have like pistons and rotors on one side but not on the other, then that can like cause like further instability. So the idea of this was to like lock it in place and allow me to like give me time to add both legs basically. Yeah, and then like unlock it once I had both, and then I just like test the walk cycle. Use this whenever I want to test the walk cycle. So that's that. As you can see, the chassis or the middle part is like a bit different. At some point when I changed the legs and like the middle body part here, I had to like kind of like separate the head from the rest of the mech, hence why you see these. And so that's what I used this for. This was like a unmanned like ore transport drone thing I built in like one of my Martian survival world one time. Sorry about bumping the mic. So yeah, that's kind of what those are. So I'm just going to delete these and then I'll get to the mech, the main part. Hopefully I didn't digress too much. Alright, so I've just deleted everything, and I'm going to now just everything including that mech, because that's a little different. Hopefully Fraps doesn't crash here. Alright, so as you can see, this is like the one that's currently on the workshop. Yeah. So as you can see, block destruction is on, meaning that I didn't like cheat or whatever with the pistons and rotors. This is stable enough to be used in survival, I think. Maybe possibly also survival multiplayer. So yeah, let's get into the mech and see what it's like. Oh, wait, hang on.
Battery online. Cameras online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So the walk cycle. 3 triggers the script loop for the precise timer script, which was not made by me, it was made by someone else. I might credit him or her in the description. And then 1 initiates the walk cycle. This is what you're here for. This is like the best part. Yeah, so now that we're walking, I can show off weapon systems. There's a Gatling gun. There is rocket launchers, of course. There is a camera on the Gatling gun. There is a, if I could, there is a horizontal pivot axis on the Gatling gun. Yeah, and FY, this mech is not completely stable, so there is a chance it could fall over while I'm demonstrating this. So there's like that. It's not very, that's probably not too reliable, but hopefully I might change that. Then, yeah. So then the missile turret. Oops, that was on already. It is on like, oh, fudge. Okay, we regained stability. Thank goodness. Yeah, that can happen. This thing isn't perfect, but it's, like I said, it's like my first successful attempt. So, okay, yeah, as I was saying, the missed rocket launcher is on like a 180-degree pivot. So if you had someone behind you piloting like an enemy mech, for example, that could, you could target them while moving forward instead of turning around to shoot them. Yeah. So now, if I could get into admin tools, I could like change it to nighttime, and just to show off the nightlight. Yeah, I gave it a nice like orangish red color. Maybe a little too red for my liking, but I don't know, I might change that later. So this thing isn't completely finished, but you know, as you can see, it's good enough as is. Works pretty well, all things considered. So, lastly, to stop the walk cycle, you use 2. And then this middle part is the default value. You should probably leave it close to 1 or 2 RPM. But if you're going up hills or something, you can use this to like tweak the forward override on the fly. Actually, there was one other thing I forgot to mention. I'm not sure if this will be in the final video, but the head is on a pivot, and it only goes 45 degrees to help preserve stability, even though it already like throws stability off somewhat. But because both the head and the Gatling turret pivots 45 degrees in either direction, you can shoot 90 degrees from where the legs are, which is pretty dope, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, that is the Saber. Wait. This is the Saber. So, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it doesn't fall over. Thanks for watching.